Here's my key. That's why. So we did finish number 5. Okay, so let's look at number 6. Okay, so yesterday we did number 5 and it flipped, you remember, this way. And it flipped upside down. What do you think is going to happen to number 6?
It's going to flip this way.
It's going to flip sideways. So we're going to do the same thing we did here. You remember how we counted to the middle and then did it again to bring it to the opposite side? Except this time we're going to the middle over the y-axis. Okay? So this is over 2. So we're going to go over 2 more and put a dot. You see what I'm saying? Okay, if you notice, don't these two just kind of trade spots? So this one goes over 1 and then this one goes over 1. Now, this one goes over 1, 2, 3, 4. So over 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one goes over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And now it's backwards. Y'all see how that worked? Because remember, this is an inside change. So it's IHOD. Therefore, it's a horizontal change. It changed from left to right. So it flipped from left to right. Any questions with that? So let's come up with our points. -4, -1, 1, 2, 3, and then -4, -1, -1, -1, 1, -1, 2, 3, and 3, -2. Okay, from the original, how did that one change? The original had -3, -2, -1, 1, and 4 in our x. So didn't our x's become opposite? Our range is still the same, okay, but our x's are opposite. We made the x's opposite by putting that negative in there. So this flipped or reflected over the y-axis. Okay. Yes. Because they flipped. It flipped, so now it's the top 3. You see, so those points are now at the beginning. Those 3 points. So now it's the first 3. Because we flipped it sideways. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so what's my domain? What's my side to side? How far to the left does this graph go from the center? From to here, which is what? -4? Can y'all even see that? Okay, and how far to the right does it go? +3. So our domain is -4 to 3. Or -4 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3. Okay. What's my range? Did my range change from the original? No. It still goes down the same and it still goes up the same. It's just flipped. So it still goes down -2 and up +3. Is that color hard to see? Yes. No, it'll specify on the next page which one to do. So remember, this top one, this is interval notation, while this is set notation. Okay. Any questions here? So let's look at number 7. Okay, these are probably the hardest ones. Okay. Because we're multiplying here. Okay. So we are making this is, so first off, it's outside, right? This is an outside change. It's not inside my parentheses, so it's over. I'm going to pick a better color. This is an over change. Okay? That means it's a vertical change. Okay? And the words we used yesterday were compression or expansion, right? Do you think this is a vertical expansion or vertical compression when we're multiplied by a half? It's going to be compression. So it's going to be shorter by a half. Okay? So knowing that, we're literally going to pay attention to where it's at now and what it's going to be. So the x's are going to stay the same. So we're going to have -3, -2, -1, 1, and 4. Now, you see how from this middle axis, it goes down to, what's half of 2?
1.
So it's now going to only go down 1. It's going down half as much. Does that make sense? We are literally finding half of y. What is the y for this original point?
2.
So what's half of 2? So the new one is going to be 1.
1.5.
Okay? So then the second point's original is up 3. What's half of 3? 1.5. So it's going to go up 1.5. Because doesn't this just mean half of y? F of x is the same thing as y, right? So that's all we're doing. We're finding half of y. Do you need an eraser? Okay, so this goes down 1. What's half of 1? 0.5, right? 0.5. Again, down half. Because all of these are going down 1, so down a half. Negative, yes, sorry. Thank you. Now I want you to realize too that your little loop is actually going to be half as much too. See how it goes up 2? So it'll only go up to here. So it's up, down, over, lip. Do you see how everything shrunk? Okay. We took half of our original y. So this is a vertical compression. By a half. Did the domain change? Did our width change? Did it change? No. So my domain is still from -3 to +4. Huh? When it's an IHOD change. So if you look over there on our IHOD, do you see how it says domain at the end? So when you have an IHOD change, that's when your domain changes. When you have an over change, that's when your range changes. Does that make sense? That's why we put that domain and range there. Okay? So that's the same thing as saying -3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 4. Okay, what about our range? Our height. Did the height change?
No.
Yeah, didn't we squish it? Yeah, so what's our lowest point is now what? At -1 and up to what? 1.5. So from -1 to 1, oh, not negative, sorry. To 1.5. Okay, same thing as -1 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 1.5. Okay, so what about number 8? What do you think is going to happen this time? So on here, it's going to be a vertical compression or expansion? Expansion. How do we know? Yeah, the value is greater than 1. So it's a bigger number, so we know it's going to grow this time. So what are we going to do this time to our y? Increase it by multiplying by what? 2. Okay, so the width is going to stay the same, but this is going down 2, so it's a negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is what? Negative 4. Okay. This is up 3. Positive 3 times 2 is what? So it goes up 6. This is down 1, so negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Down 1, so negative 2 times, negative 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 2, and then negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Now, this is going to grow as well. Isn't this up 2? The hoop, the loop, whatever, the upside down U. So if it's up 2, what's 2 times 2? So it's actually going to go up to 4 now. So this is what our new graph looks like. Did it vertically expand? Yeah. Did our domain change? No. Did our range change? Yeah, the height definitely changed. Okay, so what does it go down to now? What's my lowest point at? 1, 2, 3, down negative 4, and it goes up to positive 6. So negative 4 to 6. And then our points, negative 3, negative 4, negative 4, Okay, so those of you that are finished, that's fine. I want you to start looking at number 9. You don't have to try it yet. Just look at it. Y'all should be looking at number 9, not at your phones. Y'all will not die without your phone all period. I know. It's crazy. The separation will be exhilarating. Yes. Huh? Oh, dang it. Okay, so looking at these, is this an inside or an outside change? Caleb, will you push the down arrow on the air? It starts to get like musty up here. Like the air needs to move.
You said the door.
Huh? Because it's starting to get humid out there too.
Did you say musty?
Not, yeah.
It's cold outside.
Like, but up here it starts to feel like. You can come sit up here. Okay, it's an inside change, so it's an IHOD change. So what's going to change this time? Not the height, but the width. It's going to be half as wide. Okay? So this is going to be a horizontal, sorry. horizontal compression by 1/2. Okay? So we're going to pay attention to the width now, right, Giovanni? Good morning. You touched your weenus. Did y'all ever hear that? Did y'all ever do that when y'all were little?
Yeah.
Call the elbow your weenus?
Yes. What?
No? Just me? Okay. So this time we're paying attention to how far from the middle. So this is over 3. What's half of 3? 1.5. This is over 2, so it's going to go to 1. This is over 1, so it's going to go over 1/2. It's over 1, so it's going to go over 1/2. This is over 4, so it's going to go over 2. That should be the same height. Okay. I can explain it again. Do you want me to? Okay. So I'm going to erase it and explain it again. So we're paying attention to the width, and we're halving it. So see how this is over 1, 2, 3 points. This point is -3. What's half of -3? -1.5. So we're going to put a point at -1.5. So the height's not changing, just how far to the left it goes.
Oh, that's because it's inside.
So this is over 2, so we're going to go over 1. This is over 1, so we're going to go over 1/2. Now we're going to pay attention to how far right. So over 1, so it's going to go over 1/2. Over 4, so it's going to go over 2. Up, down, over, loop. Okay. So this becomes -1.5, -2, -1.3, -0.5, -1, +0.5, 1, and 2. So this time, if you look at the original table and the new table, it halved. The x is halved. So our domain is -1.5 to 2, yes. And our range, did it change? So it's still -2 to 3. Because it still goes down to, that's still my lowest point, and my highest point is still at 3. Okay. Last one. Actually, we'll probably go over one more, but on the next page. Okay. What's happening this time? Still an IHOD change, except this time we're multiplying by what? 2. So is it going to get bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
Bigger. So this goes over 3. What's 2 times 3?
6.
6, so we're going to go over 6. This goes over 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. This goes over 1. What's 1 times 2? Okay, this goes over 1. What's 1 times 2? 2. And this goes over 4. What's 4 times 2? 8. So 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go right here. It's actually like off the paper, which is fine. Okay. And we're going to connect them. Did it vertically expand? Yes. Okay. So this is -6, -2, -4, +3, -2, -1, 2, -1, 8, -1. Did my domain change? Yes, it got wider, it got bigger. So what is it now? -6 to 8. Okay, and did my range change? No. -2 to 3 is still my range. Ouch. Okay, I want y'all to look at this next page when you finish writing this down. Did I write vertical? My bad. You're right. Thank you, Lucas. Someone's got to. Okay. Okay, so looking at this next packet, or next page, sorry, I want you to realize it's pretty similar. We're given a weird shape on a graph, and we're making changes. And actually, 1 and 2 look pretty simple, but look at number 3 and 4. What happens? It's more than one change. Flip to the back. It's taking more than one change at the same time. Okay? Do not make it hard. Okay? So looking, we're going to kind of look at 2 of them together, and then I'm going to let y'all try. So we're going to do the main one, and then 2 of the problems, and then I'm going to let y'all go. Yes? Okay, so let's do the main one. I'm going to give y'all a minute to do the main one while I take attendance. So y'all try to do this part right here, the one that's not numbered. Find the points, find the domain, find the range. Okay, so y'all had a second. You should be a little ahead of me. I'm going to start filling in my table as well. So what's my domain? -3, 4 is correct. So if we look at domain, domains are width. It goes from -3 to 4. So interval notation. Write it both ways, and I'm labeling it again. Now, if you look at the bottom on all the problems, it tells you what notation to do. Do you have to do both every time, Giovanni?
No.
No. Okay. So, this is -3, 4. Set notation is -3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 4. Okay, what's my range? Yeah, it goes down to -1 and it goes all the way up to 3, so it's going to be -1, 3. Remember, you do your smallest number first. Okay, so there's your 2 different types of notation. Okay. Any questions with this guy? The original. Huh? No, this was just going over the original one. Yeah. This is just looking at our, what we're calling h of x. So now 1 through 8 are changing this h of x here. So let's look at number 3 first. Because number 1 and number 2 are just like yesterday, so I'm going to let y'all do those on your own, okay? Let's look at number 3. So what's happening here? We have an inside change and an outside change, right? So inside is I had. Outside is over. Okay, so I want you to remember that I had is left to right, and it's opposite. Oh, sorry, opposite. So when it says +1, am I going to go left one or right one? Left. So it's going to go left 1, and then it's over. Outside is exact. So up is positive, down is negative. So is it going to go up 4 or down 4? Up 4. So every single one of these points are going to go up, left 1, up 4. So we're doing 2 changes. Does that make sense? Because there's 2 changes to our h of x. So let's look. I'm going to take every point and I'm going to go left 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Do y'all see what I'm saying? Left 1, up 4, every point. Understand what happened. Do you? Well, I'm not done, so no, not yet.
So this will be. This will be right 2 of 1.
Yeah. Okay. So y'all understand domain and range, or do you want me to do it with you? Anybody want me to do the domain and range? I can really fast. Or I can let y'all try. So I'll let y'all try. Everybody flip to the back. I'll let y'all pick one. 5, 6, 7, or 8. You gonna do number 5? Huh? Y'all think 8? Okay, we can do both, but I'm not going to do the data with y'all. Okay? So let's look at 5, because they're both different kinds of changes. So let's look at 5 first. So 5 says what? So we have an inside change and an outside change. Okay? Right? So it's saying, what does that inside change mean?
Right 1.
So it's inside, which means it's a horizontal change, a side-to-side change, right? And that means it's flipping over the y-axis. Okay? Remember? So look at number 6 that we did today on yesterday's paper. Look at number 6. See how it's inside and it flipped over the axis? Okay, so that was a flip over the y-axis. So we're going to flip over y-axis and do what? Go what? Outside over vertical. So exact. So down is negative. So we're going to go down 3. Okay.
Wait, how do you know that you have to flip?
Because there's a negative inside my parentheses.
So I would have to flip that one over there. 6.
Yeah, but you'll flip that one. That one's on the outside of the parentheses, so you'll flip that one up and down, not side to side. Look at your examples from yesterday to help you. Okay? So let's focus on this one. Yes? Huh? Because it's not adding or subtracting, it's multiplying by a negative, which means flip. Okay? So, we're going to flip. So, we're going to start with this first point. If it goes over 2, that way, it's going to go over 2 this way, right? But it also needs to do what?
Down 3.
Down 3. 1, 2, 3. There is my new point. Everybody okay with that? I flipped it. It went 2 this way, now it goes 2 that way, and then it went down 3. So let's try another point. This point didn't go left or right at all, so is it going to change? Does it have to flip anything? If it's on the y-axis, does it flip? No, because it doesn't move. So it's just going to do what?
Go down 3.
Go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now this point is over how many? 1, 2, 3. So how many to the other side do I need to go? 3. 1, 2, 3. Then what? Down 3. 1, 2, 3. Does anybody have any questions? So I'm going to keep going then. So I've done those 3 points. This point, it goes over 1, so I'm going to go over 1 the other way, and then down 1, 2, 3. One more point. This goes over 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many the other way?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Then down 1, 2, 3. Do you see how it's mirrored? It's flipped. Okay, so this will go up, over, down, and loop. I know that's a lot to think about. Don't feel bad for drawing your squiggles. If you look at my answer key, I draw my squiggles. Especially on the ones that flip. Like on the ones that go up and over, like number 5 or 4 or 3, whatever one we did, that's not too bad because it's up and over, okay? But these that flip and do something get a little hard. Does anybody have any questions on this concept? Is everybody okay with the picture that came? Okay. So somebody said y'all want me to do number 8 with y'all as well? Okay, so let's look at number 8. We're going to draw number 8 together. And then I'm going to let y'all try. Okay? So, looking at number 8, it's got two outside changes, right? Aren't they both on the outside? Nothing is changed in the inside. So these are all outside changes. Okay? So what does that 1/2 mean? Vertical compressed. Okay? So I'm going to vertically compress. Vertical compress by 1/2. And do what? What's my other change?
Going down 4.
Down 4. So what change do you think we're going to do first?
The vertical compression.
The vertical compression. Okay? So, do y'all remember how to do the vertical compression? Yes, no, maybe so?
Oh, 1.5.
So if this goes up 1, what's half of that?
1.5.
Up 1/2, down 1/2, right?
1.5.
So 1/2 is half of that. But I also need to go down how many?
4.
4. So down 1, 2, 3, 4. So that takes me to -3.5. Okay. So then this one goes up 3. What's half of that? Half of 3.
1.5.
Glendy, do I need to take it? So 1.5. And then I do what? Down 4. Down 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, this starts at 1.5 and then goes down 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this goes down -1/2, so that means I'm going to start where? I mean down -1. So I'm going to start at -1/2 and go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, -1, half of that is 1/2. And go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one thing I do want y'all to realize is that little loop is also going to be 1/2. So I always like to pay attention to where it started. It started at 2, right? Half of 2 is 1, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. My loop is going to go up to that line. So I go up, over, down, loop. Is it vertically compressed? Is it shifted down 4? There is my new graph. Did my domain change at all? No, there is no IHOD change. Therefore, my domain is going to be exactly the same as the original on the first page. Okay? The only thing that changed was my range. Okay? I want y'all to try. If you get stuck, what should you do? Ask. Can you ask each other? Can you ask me? Yes. Okay? So ready, go, y'all.